All right, Sean, we are here on Scrap Station, our fifth map in our first week of doing a best of 7. And before we started recording this, you said you wanted to talk about this map, as you said it is a great fifth map to have. So why is that?
I mean, in any map set, you always want deciding maps to be the ones that create a lot of interesting action. When I say a deciding map, I mean one where there's a chance that a player is one win away from victory. So right here in this fifth set, we have Cauthon Luck up 3-1. This means that Artosis is one loss away from being eliminated, and from Cauthon Luck for being the first ever 2 week in a row King of the Hill. Is that right? We haven't had a single player who's been able to...
Yeah, no one has actually gone on 2 weeks in a row. So this will be quite the accomplishment for Cauthon Luck here.
Yeah, and you know, on this sort of map, it just has a whole lot of the normal structure of maps just thrown out the window. First of all, you have no border of your main sharing anywhere that the opponent could jump into. So Stalkers with Blink, Reapers, a lot of harassment is easily nullified via that way. But, you know, if you look at the expansion is not very easy to defend. It has this weird little hook around. You know, you have this odd choke that's really far forward, and even after you do defend that choke, then players can destroy these destructible rocks, and you have this really short attack path. It, you know, means that there's going to be a lot of aggression. A lot of players love doing pushes down the center lane with tanks and that sort of thing. And at the same time, players also get a chance to develop these super defensive plays where they end up trying to hold off all this weird, funky stuff that could happen early on. And there's this island in the top right. There's no symmetry with that island, you know. There's only one gold expansion at the bottom left. So there's a lot of kooky stuff that ends up happening. So I'm really excited that this is the fifth map that we have today.
All right, going and looking at the players' builds, it looks like both players are pretty much doing the same thing. Artosis is actually throwing down that extractor earlier on. I wonder if he's going to be going for this one roach base play. Not really sure how what he's thinking about, because I mean that obviously didn't do well for him that one game prior. I forgot what map that was, but it sounds like you know something that I don't. So explain that.
Spider Sense is going crazy. I mean, okay, so this is what I'm seeing. In the Zotac Cup between Jinro and Damaga in the semifinals, Damaga went straight up 13 pool, 14 hatch, 13 pool, 14 gas, got a bunch of Zerglings, got speed for the Zerglings, got a Baneling nest, and just kept making Zerglings and Banelings. And he eventually just wandered up the ramp, killed off that supply depot with 5 Banelings, like instantly killed that supply depot, and then waltzed his way in with 20 Speedlings and won the game immediately. And I would not be surprised if that's what Artosis was going for on this map, because if you look at that choke over at Cauthon Luck's base, look at how huge that choke is. There is just so much space. There's no way to do any sort of factory wall off with barracks or something like that. You have to use the depots early on. And as we see, Artosis is getting that speed upgrade. He's making tons of Zerglings, so it looks like we might see some sort of a Zergling Speedling, Speedling Baneling bust, and there's the Baneling nest going down at the top of the base. This happens really fast, like right at the 6-minute mark. Cauthon Luck trying to hold that Xel'Naga watchtower. Zerglings get in there, almost kill off a Marine, but 2 more Zerglings relentlessly going in there, trying to snipe these off. And I mean, if Cauthon Luck doesn't execute his opening perfectly, he is going to be losing this almost immediately. I mean, this comes out so fast. This is really tense for Artosis. He's cheesing for the win, or he's losing with it, you know. Not what you want to be doing in match 5.
We do see him drop the barracks and the factory pretty much almost as soon as those Zerglings reach the ramp. He's going to be wall off for a little bit. However, actually, no, I was thinking those Zerglings could possibly fit in between the barracks there and the factory, but that reactor is actually walling them off. So now going back into Artosis' base, we do see that Baneling next finished, and we do see a ton of Zerglings being spawned. Now 5 little cocoons there with Zerglings popping out of it. As speed is about to finish, we do see him hiding those Zerglings in between. Wow, those Zerglings actually just took a huge hit from those Hellions. Now, I think about 4 or 5 Zerglings were lost right there. We do see that speed finish for Artosis, and Cauthon is kind of worried right now as he sends those Hellions back into his base.
And look at this. Only Reapers and Hellions being made, and this timing. Where are the Banelings? He's just trying to run up to bust. Oh, God, Artosis' big cheese chance to just win it right here might just be busted. I mean, he's trying to get all these Banelings up, but Cauthon Luck is literally making only the units that are extremely good against light armor, aka Banelings and Zerglings. And even though Artosis does have a ton of Zerglings coming, he has a full another 8 right around the corner. I mean, this doesn't, it takes so long to get there. Look, one depot goes down, but he's still walled in. Oh, gosh. I mean, not reacting to that properly. Artosis is going to have to make another set of Banelings to try to bust in there. And so many Hellions, so many Reapers right now. I mean, already, if he just researches those Nitro packs for those Reapers, Cauthon Luck will be able to, defend this properly. This is the one issue with doing this big Baneling bust on this map, is that they just don't quite come out fast enough. I mean, you need to get all the way over to the other side. But, look at this. Another 6 Banelings going for that other supply depot. Oh no, it looks like the Reapers are there as well. Artosis is just sort of juking around with these units. He has a little bit of indecision, even has a Roach Warren in his base. I don't know what Artosis is doing. I think Artosis is surprised that he wasn't able to bust in there. And he's target firing that. He does manage to bust it down, so he is running in here. He's surrounding with all these Speedlings. This is it. Artosis needs to do serious damage. But there are these tons of Reapers, tons of Hellions, and look at that. It just evaporates immediately. And the only thing that happened to Cauthon Luck is that his barracks is on fire and he is down to supply depots.
We do see Artosis now hurting a little bit. He does have quite a few drones, and he is going to be able to spawn a little bit more Lings. But I think if Cauthon pushes right here, he's going to be really, really in a good position. It looks like he is going to move those units out a little bit. We do see Artosis sending those Lings now to Cauthon Luck's base. They're about to meet each other, and I think those Lings are about to turn around immediately. Oh, wow, he loses a bunch of Lings. Looks like he doesn't even want to control them right now. We just see a GG from Artosis right there, as he knows it is over. He knows that that Baneling build that he just tried to do was a complete failure, as he just sees a ton of forces from Cauthon Luck rushing towards his base. So, I mean, you pretty much called that match exactly how it was going to happen, except Artosis didn't. Except that Artosis kind of failed in regard to getting the Banelings a little bit late, like you were saying, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really Artosis' fault. That's just kind of how that map is shaped. I mean, sometimes players even like getting the Baneling nest before the Zergling speed, just to account for that. Because the idea is that you want the Banelings to rush up there right when the Hellions are in the process of making, because then you can kill off 2 depots. And when those 2 Hellions pop out, they fall almost immediately, and you're in deep red food is Terran. I mean, you've lost pretty much all your supply depots at that point. But I mean, 4 Hellions were done by the time those Banelings walked up. And then to have that double tech lab wall off, or the double supply depot wall off, it was just like, I just felt so bad because Artosis runs up there, kills off his depot, and he's still walled off. So he didn't get the chance to run in with his Zerglings and continue with his plan. And, hats off to Cauthon Luck for playing that very smartly. I mean, getting all of those Reapers, all of those anti-Zergling units, that way he could have that big counter push. But again, always interesting to see what happens in that match 5, where you're down 1-3. This is the last potential match, and Artosis just tries to do a big all-in to get a breath of air, but, Cauthon Luck just shut it right down.
Yeah, so like you were just saying, Cauthon Luck did win, and that is going to be a first for us over here at MLG, as we do see a competitor move on 2 weeks in a row. Now, we know that Cauthon Luck's TVZ is actually really good. I haven't actually seen him play any TVT or any TVP. So looking at those other 2 matchups, have you actually seen Cauthon Luck play any of those other 2 matchups?
I just don't know anything about his play. I actually know that he used to be playing a lot of Zerg, so I think that that's part of the reason why he's able to exploit a lot of vulnerabilities against his other 2 Zerg opponents. But I would be delighted to see some Terran vs. Protoss or Terran vs. Terran action, because there's been a lot of serious changes in those matchups in the last few weeks. A lot of players experimenting with mech as opposed to mass barracks play. There's a lot of players who are trying to experiment with odd combos or just weird harassments. So I'm just really excited to see what's going to go on.
All right, guys. So also to note, we did actually record a State of the Game podcast, I think 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. It is about an hour and 20 minutes long or something like that, but you can find it on TL.net in the StarCraft 2 general boards. I think it's called State of the Game SC2 Beta Podcast or something like that. So go ahead and check that out. It is Artosis, myself, Sean, and Louder, who we've seen play Artosis in the week 1 where Artosis actually did lose. So that is now 0-2 for Artosis in the MLG Showcase Series. And remember that the poll will be up for next week's competitor on Monday night, probably around, I would think, 10 or 11 o'clock CST, as I will be getting home from class a little bit late that night. So, Sean, do you have any kind of last words here before we wrap things up?
No, I'm really excited with this Best of 7 series. We get the chance to see a lot of games get played. We saw a huge variety today, so hope to see the same for next week.
All right, guys. So remember, like Sean just said, we will be back next week, Saturday night. Not sure if it's going to be live yet. I'm not going to make any promises there because this week we couldn't even record with our own producer because the internet was down. So we never know what to expect here over at MLG.
Yeah.
And we will be back. Oh, actually, you going to say something?
Just to do some shameless plugging, if any of you want more of me, you can tune into my show, the Day 9 Daily. It's livestream.com/StriderDoom, and it should have a schedule at the top of the page there. But yeah, do that 5 days a week. So pretty much that's what bridges the gap between this MLG Showcase series.
All right, so there we will have it. And Cauthon beating Artosis now, moving on to his third week. Wow, I can't even believe what I'm saying. He will be back next week, and we will be back next week for Week 7 of the MLG StarCraft 2 Showcase Series.